our first warehouse in San Bernardino. 60,000 square feet, approximately 14,000 square feet of service department, the balance retail selling floor. Let's go inside and take a look at what we've got. One thing we're determined about is making AutoGiant a drug-free company. All applicants are pre-screened, and it has really made a major difference in the quality of potential employees. This is looking along the wall as you enter into our 14,000 square foot service department. We've got a 120 foot of glass wall and then the service counter down at the end. Our motto is, of course, do it yourself or we'll do it for you. Looking from the register area down through the end of the warehouse, the entire open expanse that you see will be covered with tires and custom wheels. And tires will be bulk stacked a la Price Club and Super Shops, the 100-store chain that's the nation's largest seller of custom automotive wheels and high-performance tires. Flat carts going out onto the tire floor. That wall there will have 12-foot high steel racking and will hold tires all the way up the wall so that you get a sweep of tires down the wall and across the floor, stacked about 6 high. It was warehousing and at the same time very descriptive and hot because we're automotive. All aisles are numbered, all the signs are backlit. Each aisle has the corresponding graphics for the products found in that aisle, so it works not only in English, but the visual representation handles the 40% plus Spanish-speaking population in Southern California and most of the Southwest. Custom wheel and tire accessories, and Harry Jordan. Hi, Harry.
Hi, Frank.
Harry Jordan has joined us 4 weeks ago now from his position as the senior tire buyer and automotive buyer from Price Club. Harry, tell us a little bit about the merchandise set and the product lines that you'll be carrying, please.
Sure. 3,000 tires on the warehouse floor, and we'll have an additional 1,500 custom wheels. Some of the tire brands that we plan on featuring are Michelin, Bridgestone, B.F. Goodrich, Yokohama. We'll also have a competitively priced, what I would call economy or lower end price point brand named Summit, which is made by Kelly Springfield. Additionally, we'll have the Falcon high performance tire brand, which is made by Otsu Rubber in Japan, which is a very aggressively priced speed rated high performance tire. The custom wheels we plan on having in our steel so-called commodity wheels will be Superior Industries, in addition to getting fills from some other steel suppliers such as Crater, California Wheel. Our one-piece alloy aluminum wheels will be primarily sourced through Sendell Manufacturing here in California. They make an outstanding high-quality one-piece aluminum alloy, which is also very aggressively priced. Our upper-end wheel business will consist of sourcing from several different manufacturers, Henke, BBS, Fittipaldi, just to name a couple. That business will be, I would say, stress image and presentation first. We will have inventory on the floor, however. The real secret to that business is going to be our ability to source 1-2 day delivery from our suppliers that we'll be getting the merchandise from.
How are we set price-wise against the competition, which would be the clubs and the tire dealers doing big volume on tires, and of course some of the higher volume custom wheel outlets on wheels.
I think we've got a real unbeatable combination, Frank, because what we're really doing is on similar, identical items, Michelin, BF Goodrich, will be at or below traditional warehouse club pricing, whether it's Costco, which is right across the parking lot over here, or Price Club over in Colton, or Pace, right across the freeway, will be at or below their pricing on similar Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Yokohama tires. The one thing they can't match us in, however, will be the depth of our selection. In addition to the 3,000 units we have on the floor, I think I might mention that we're going to have over 200 stock keeping units. Typical warehouse club, at best, usually has between 60 and 65 stock keeping units, all brands. So we're easily outdistancing their depth of selection 3 to 1. That combined with a very aggressive pricing strategy, I think is going to make for a very outstanding presentation when our customers come through the turnstile.
When are you going to fill up the floor with tires?
2 days, we'll start receiving Michelin.
All right, I'll let you get back to work.
Okay, thanks.
This area here will be for what we call tchotchkes, smaller automotive accessories, a full selection of do-it-yourselfer to professional mechanics manuals. Impulse Merchandise is the low-walled customer waiting lounge, which will be for those customers that stay while we're performing automotive services on their vehicle, giving them access to the high-volume impulse merchandise and the higher quality accessories such as sheepskin, seat covers, quality floor mats, expensive mirrors, and of course stereo and automotive security. Gary, of course, is our merchandise manager for accessories and chemicals. And as you can see, Gary's out here making sure they get set the way we want them set. Gary, how are we right now as far as merchandise received?
We're about 65% received. The rest of it is due in next week. We're waiting just now for the bars to hang the floor mats and the sheepskin seat covers, but we'll be complete probably by Friday. We bought national brands. We got warehouse pricing and warehouse quantities. Got all the lines covered in chemicals, accessories, truck accessories, RV accessories, tools. We got a complete mix.
Which starts up, these are primarily the chemical aisles. Paint and additives on the left and wash and wax on the right. Take us down the paint and additive side and just give us a little idea as to brand, mix, what have you.
This first empty bay is where the touch-up paint's going. It's a full line of Duplicolor for foreign, domestic, and truck, along with the vinyl sprays. As we walk farther down, we have BHT engine paint in both enamel and high temp. We have a full line of Krylon spray paint. This is our sandpaper section. Then we get into body repair, which isn't really set yet. Bondo body filler and the tools. This bay here, we're waiting for Prestone radiator products to come in to complete it. We have 3 packs on a lower brand. Greasers, silicones, WD-40 will be down there. We have power steering fluid, along with carb spray and brake parts cleaner.
In a traditional auto parts store, you'd have 7 or 8 different car washes, 12 or 13 car waxes, 5 different radiator additives. How have you handled the mix on that?
We just bought the best brands, which is primarily the top of the line is Prestone, and then like I said, we went to 3 packs on the lower end lines.
Wheel cleaners and wheel treatments?
Wheel and tire cleaners are positioned here, and then you get into rubbing compounds and upholstery cleaners, your Armor All, your Simple Green, your car washes are farther down. And on the very end, we have polishes and sponges and chamois and cleaning cloths.
What have we been able to buy as far as discount when compared to some of the major volume purchases in the country? of course, of which you were one for 13, 14 years with Peps and Northern.
Well, having had prior experience with those companies, I can tell you that they were bought at the same pricing. Starting with Kenco running boards in cab length and full-size trucks. Then we have a step-up running board line called Elixir, which is a custom-fit running board for trucks and vans. And then we have a full line of sliding windows. These are Deflector Shield bug deflectors.
People carry in stock the truck bed liners that we see up at the top here.
I can't think of anybody in this area that would carry bed liners. They're bulky, and the customers that carry it do it just on a special order basis, and it usually takes about 14 days for delivery. We are set for delivery tomorrow on Prestone antifreeze. We're going to carry both a gallon size and a 2.5 gallon size, which probably maybe Price Club and Costco are the only ones that are carrying that. It should do very well for us.
Will it be priced the same?
We'll be priced exactly the same, maybe a penny cheaper. This is impressive, I think, because I can't think of any other retailer that carries a truckload of antifreeze or oil on their floor. Both Castrol and Pennzoil, and we carry Castrol in the transmission fluid. We also carry Mobil 1 and Kindle motor oil. Welcome to Pennzoil Street.
It looks like it.
About an eighth of a mile, it seems like. We go about 2 pallets high with overstock at the top. Customers pull from down on the bottom, and then we'll replenish from the top stock. Pennzoil, if I might add, is also the oil that we're going to be carrying in the shop. So if the customer has an oil change and gets a few quarts low, he can come in and buy a case from us. Our competition is carrying this for about $1.29 a gallon. Our everyday price is 68 cents.
Blue water is your windshield wiper and washer and antifreeze and cleaner.
Premixed.
Pre-mixed, and this will be in truckload quantity, bulk stacked out on the floor. Gary, thank you. I'll let you get back to what you were doing.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, these aisle indexers are designed to lead a bilingual customer base into the correct aisle, and then the various iconized aisle signs, which are flexible and corners rounded for safety purchases, take them to the actual item that they're interested in, and also each will feature the percentage off of list every day for that specific category of goods. There'll be over 100 of these aisle index signs located out throughout the warehouse. Their hoses and belts are featured down one long aisle, and full coverage is carried to make sure that we cover the needs of both the do-it-yourselfer and the professional installer. It's an excellent opportunity to take a look at our bin tag concept. Each bin tag contains the list price, the percentage off list, and that's real, and a computer-generated UPC code and price. We then hand write in the pricing so that we will be able to reflect a high discounted rate and image very much the same as Home Depot. Back out into the center aisle. The heart of any auto parts store is, of course, the parts counter, where the parts technicians, all professionals, act as human catalogs, and they then prescribe the appropriate parts, send the customer off into each aisle to select their parts, and take them therefore up to the front of the warehouse through the registers. I'm standing right now on a scissor lift approximately where the parts counter will be located, so you get a good idea from midsection of the warehouse as to the layout. You notice the graphics along the walls are all vendor-sponsored customer logos, only of companies that have high recognition value in the automotive industry. We'll be looking down towards the tire and wheel area through each of the major aisles. Back to the back of the warehouse. Where customer logos will continue to a large Auto Giant logo. The aisle we just toured. Most of everything on the right-hand side of the warehouse is in the hard part replacement. Our business is the replacement and maintenance auto parts. Jerry Boehm is our merchandise manager for all parts, both maintenance and replacement. Jerry, tell us a little bit about the merchandise mix that you've selected. Maybe we can walk down the ignition aisle here first.
Okay, here we have the Champion spark plugs, which is one of the #1 major manufacturer of spark plugs in the United States.
What's our selection and our breadth of product there?
We're really depth on it. We're carrying the small engine plugs, plus we have resistor and non-resistors. We've probably got about a 99% coverage for anything that walks in the door.
Including import?
Well, our imports are going to be covered through the Bosch Platinums, which will be basically all of our import coverage will be carried here in this. This is what all of the car manufacturers are going to now in the Platinum. Just the General Motors applications, which bleeds over some into Ford and Chrysler also. Plus we have the Ford Motorcraft for the gentleman that drives just the Ford and wants to put Ford parts back on his car.
In general, has your mix of spark plugs or air and oil filters carried a lot of duplication, or do you basically carry Ford in the Ford Motorcraft, AC Delco for the General Motors?
We're carrying basically just the Ford coverage, GM coverage, but there is some runover because you can use one for the other in certain applications. This is our fuel filters here. This is what we call a preventative maintenance product, just as well as the spark plugs, the ignition, and the spark plug wires. The more you replace them, the better your car runs, the longer the car is going to last you. Behind me here we've got the fuel pumps, which is what we call a new part. This is only replaced when it breaks down. This is not a preventative maintenance. So the main difference between the two is one will break, you've got to replace it. The other is you replace it to keep it from breaking so you can keep going.
Okay, in some of the replacement parts, we carry both new and or remanufactured. General automotive market, when you take your car in to have it repaired at an independent mechanic, does he choose new or remanufactured most of the time?
Most of the time he'll go with remanufactured. Okay, this is going to be some more of our routine maintenance merchandise. This is a Group 7 oil filters, which are manufactured by Purelator. We're using this as our low end to be competitive with everybody else in the market that's running the $1.69 filters. We will be not setting any limits on ours, where most people will give you a limit of 1 or 2. They can take as many as they want, and we hope they take them all.
So this is the entire filter aisle here.
Then we come into the major manufacturers, which would be our AC Delco, our Ford Motor Company, Bosch for our import products. With this selection of oil filters here in Bosch, we'll be having about a 96% coverage of all import products. Which again, we're carrying the AC, the Ford, and the Bosch. The AC and Ford have got the domestic coverage. We also are carrying some Chrysler in AC and Ford to swing in, and the Bosch will be mainly our import coverage.
Not just as it pertains to shock absorbers, but most of the replacement and maintenance parts that we carry. What percentage of the customer's needs are we going to have the inventory and the selection to fill when they come in to the Auto Giant?
We should be at about a 90% coverage. The other 10%, we'd have to have a building twice as big to carry to get it all in here.
And as we know that the automotive business and the automotive do-it-yourselfer and mechanic largely shops based on selection and availability.
Correct.
When we combine that with price, we ought to have one heck of a combination.
We should get it in here.
Yeah. Jerry, thanks a million.
Okay.
This is Jim Davies. Jim is our manager of the receiving department. Jim is responsible for all functions in receiving. Hi there, Jim.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay, Jim, listen, take us for just a real quick guided tour of the receiving department and explain to us how our receiving function works, how we get it directly into the mainframe computer, and everything going past the door.
Okay, sure. We go right out here. We have two receiving doors, which you can't see right now because it's merchandise that normally is out on the floor before it's being sealed. The truck will pull up to the back doors. The first thing we do is pull the paperwork from the driver, make sure that the PO is open. Once we verify that, we then load from the trucks onto the pallet and do a physical count of the cartons and verify it against the packing stuff. We then enter it into the computer to get a detailed receiver, which we then check item for item to make sure that everything is there and everything has UCP codes. If they don't, we then print it up and put it onto the product.
And the printing of the UCP codes is done here at the warehouse off of a printer that's connected to our mainframe computer at the central office.
Exactly. Once that is all taken care of, then the product is then put out on the floor.
Looks like you got a little more Xerox in here.
Yep.
I guess you got about 1,500, 2,500 square feet in your receiving department. How many people do you have working for you in receiving?
Right now we have 7 people, including myself.
Will that be a full-time staff?
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Let's get back at it.
Thank you.
Bye. Joe.
Hey.
This is Joe Lozano. Joe is the director of our service departments. And if I can get you to come out here and show us through the shop a little bit, we'll take a tour out there.
We make one correction here so we make sure we make money, not lose it.
Sounds like a good idea. As I've said at Auto Giant, the slogan is do it yourself or we'll do it for you. And to do it for them, we have one of the finest quality automotive shops, of which there'll be a service counter with 5 excellent service writers and service manager right in front of this door. This service department is completely sealed off from the warehouse. Employees on the warehouse side don't go into the service department. Employees in the service department don't enter the warehouse. Joe, take us for a little tour of your domain, would you?
Welcome. Welcome to the service department. This is kind of a private showing, and we haven't got it fully cleaned yet, but this is the premiere and the preview.
Okay.
Which will do drums and rotors over the counter. The do-it-yourselfers can come in and have their drums and rotors turned in about 15 minutes. They can have their drums pressed, studs pressed. They can have McPherson struts assembled in here for themselves, and they don't have to worry about a spring bouncing off and killing them. We'll do that professionally for them. Type of instrument that's going to lift the car actually off the ground. We have several types of lifts, including the RV, which we just showed you a minute ago. This type of lift is a dual twin post that will come up, and it will be easy access for underneath the undercarriage. On all types of hoists. The big RVs will have the 2 big lifts that will lift up to 18,500 pounds.
Okay. So along this wall, it looks like they're pretty well along the way to being finally installed. And that's the main entry and exit door that was put into the building for the purposes of running the service department that we've been telling everybody about for oil changes.
We're looking at what is going to be our quick pit oil service bays. And as you can see, it's quite a construction project to get the whole thing up and running. This area here will handle 8 cars an hour under high production for quick oil changes, differential oil changes, and safety inspections. We plan to do
Jobs as well.
it's going to bring us a lot of jobs, man. It'll be really nice, and it'll produce it'll produce high traffic that'll get us other types of jobs as we go through this area here.
We're anticipating 20% of our total business to come out of Joe's department here. Joe will be responsible for the maintenance of a full staff throughout this location and all the other locations. Formerly, Joe's responsibilities as executive director of service departments for the 143-store Grand Auto chain gave him a hands-on experience to be able to set up a shop like this and staff it, put a good service manager in there. By the way, how are you doing with the staff on the service department?
We're about 98% filled. We can open up right now if we had to, and we're prepared to give them help.
How many employees are there in the service department, and basically how do they categorize?
We're going to have 34 employees, including management personnel. We'll have service manager, assistant service manager, 2 service writers, and they're all considered salaried people. They'll be taking advantage of growth and high positions as this company gets very, very large. Tech 1, our highest level technician. Tech 2, our in-between technician, and Tech 3 is our oil change type technician, tire installer type technician. And everybody within this organization is high quality. We stress ASE certification as well as California certified in Smog Bar 90, which is coming up here in July of 1990.
And for those of you that don't know, this is Doug Hay, our Vice President of Merchandising. Doug spent 8 years with the Northern Automotive Group as Vice President of Merchandising and Marketing. Northern has, 650 stores?
Actually, 900 stores.
900 stores, $650 million in sales. Doug, give us a little input into the merchandise mix and the way we're merchandising our product.
Basically, what we're doing on this is the merchandise mix that you see in your standard everyday auto parts store ranges somewhere about 8,000 SKUs. When you walk into Auto Giant, you're going to find almost 14,000, or actually a little over 14,000 SKUs inside the box. Makes for a different appearance from a lot of the club-style companies that you walk into, but it gives our customers between 90 and 95% coverage. When you're looking at a customer and you're looking at auto parts, you need coverage. The guy has to be able to walk in and buy all of his items, get in and get out of the door with a one-time stop. They'll find that here. Special value buys that we bring in for a limited amount of time. Stack them high and let them fly, as we say around here, and at a special price for the customer and back out. That buy them and put them on themselves. There's also a vast amount of people that don't. So one of the things you'll get when you shop at an Auto Giant is what we call our do-it-yourself, or we'll do it for you. Come in.
Jeff Wester, project coordinator for the Auto Giant's #1 warehouse, always has something to say.
Show them what you're made of, Jeff.
What do you say, Jeff?
Hope you're not pushing the buttons.
Merchandising techniques you'll find at Auto Giant are totally different too. One of the things you'll notice is as you walk down an aisle, everything is case cut. Does 2 things. Number 1, creates the warehouse image that we want to create. Number 2, it helps get the product on the shelves faster. In addition to a tremendous supply of automotive, we've also made a major statement in the largest growing category in the aftermarket today, and that's light and medium duty truck. You'll find over 100 running feet of truck accessories, bed liners, camper shells, everything you can need to keep your light truck looking good.
Like to introduce you to someone that you have not met. That's Dan Dentry. Dan is warehouse director for Warehouse 1 here in San Bernardino. And Dan will go on from this point to set up Warehouse 2, 3, 4, and likewise once we get this one up and running. Dan, give us a little bit about your background so the guys know you, since you're the new kid on the block.
Hi, nice to meet everybody. Formerly, I was with Kmart Corporation for the last 11 years. Early on in my career, I spent 7 of them in auto service. I had 22 stores down in Corpus Christi, Houston, Texas area. I came over 4 years ago to Builder Square, a sister company, and I became regional manager out east in Atlanta, Georgia. I had 10 units out there, and then recently, a year and a half ago, moved out to the West Coast and ran 10 units throughout the West here in California. We're here, I've just started this week, and we put together a plan of attack of our employee structure for the first unit. As you can see on this board, we've started out here with myself, warehouse director. I'll also have an assistant warehouse director of operations. I'll also have an assistant warehouse director of merchandise. I'll have a service manager that runs the complete service center. He'll also have an assistant service manager in that unit. We will have a parts manager and a parts assistant manager that will run the parts counter. This is the layout here of how many full-time, part-time we need in that department. We'll have 2 delivery trucks. We'll have 4 drivers, 2 full-time, 2 part-time to start off with. Under our service writers in the management team out in the auto service, we'll have Tech 1, Tech 2, Tech 3 mechanics. Under those, we will have some people that will actually be called stockers that will help us bring in and out the vehicles and pick up any parts from the sales floor to the auto service center. We would have the rim and tire experts that will be selling our tires and rims out on our sales floor. This will be 3 full-time and 3 part-time individuals. Our receiving area, we have a receiving manager, receiving clerks, full-time, part-time, and data entry personnel. Our front end will be run by a front-end supervisor, and under his authority will be the cash office operation, the customer service area, the head cashiers, and the full-time and part-time cashiers. We have 70 employees total with us today. We are looking for a few key people that will probably bring us up to 80 plus, 81, 82 people total when we grand open. Out of this, we have approximately 30 individuals that will be out in the auto service area and 50 in the wholesale retail end of the business. Opportunity to introduce my assistant director of operations, Bernardino.
How you doing? Real excited about being here at Auto Giant. I think it's a great opportunity, a great challenge. I think it's great because I feel like I'm working with some of the top people in the industry. I think it'll be a great learning experience, and I just hope to grow with the company.
Ed, why don't you give us a little bit of your background?
Okay, recently I was merchandise manager with Costco, just been operations and merchandise manager, and 11 years with Gemco before that.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
To introduce you to my customer service manager, Brett Kramer.
Hi, my function within the warehouse is customer service and cash vault. Responsibilities include reconciling the cash audits for the day, anything that exits the front of the store. And I'd like to say that my primary function is making sure that the customer exits the warehouse with a good feeling, with a goodbye, thank you, and come again.
Thanks, Brett. We'll look forward to lots of...
At Auto Giant, we've installed numerous systems. One of them, a camera system throughout the store, and at this exit, the employee exit, we have installed a metal detector.